recording.
Yo, what is up,
Hey,
everybody? I'm with
what's up?
Rachel Hughes of Regress, the project that I've actually yet to really properly hear that much about. Does it have an
Cool.
Instagram page or anything yet?
So I right now am Regress. It's my solo project.
Okay.
I have been recording demos for the past. Well, I recorded all the demos about 6 months ago, and then I got the files and I haven't touched it since, but I've been working on many more songs and I've been jamming with a bunch of people and I'm getting a band together, which is super sick.
Hey,
Yeah,
saw
shout
the.
out to do you know Mia from Earthworm?
No, I don't.
They have like pretty cool like blunt bangs, green hair, glasses. They
I
did an
must have
acoustic set
seen
on
a
Twin
photo or
Peaks.
something.
Yeah. I think they're like friends of friends with us,
Okay.
with you. But yeah, so I jammed with them, and hopefully they are uh, down to commit to this band with me. And
Hey,
I was really excited about our progress. So
that's hype.
it's
I saw
coming
there's a
along.
looking for a bassist post.
Yep. That is my other band. I'm a part of a band named Moving Company right now.
Okay.
And that is my most active project. Me and
Hmm.
my bandmate Robert, and I'm on drums. He's on guitar. We have about 16 songs. We've played a couple shows. I really love the music. We have a couple songs released. Shout out to the tape we're about to be on. He does a
Ooh.
project. Yeah, he does a project called Plastic Island, and it's a comp tape series. We're on number 4, volume 4, I think, is the one that's about to happen. And it's basically like a crowdsourced theme. Like there's a release party, and everyone who comes to the release party puts what they think the next theme of the comp should be. And
Mm.
then drawn out of a hat, and suddenly artists are called from all over, whoever wants to contribute to write original music around this theme. And then it's mixed and mastered and curated a little bit and released on cassette.
Wow.
And along with the release, there's a like kind of a I don't know. The tradition has been a string of shows. Last last time we did I think 3 shows in a row, and our band played all 3 of those shows
A
like 3 days in a row. It was so wild.
Is there
Yeah, the
like a
first.
specific genre that the tapes follow, or is it
Oh,
literally just like anything?
Um, so yeah. The tapes are very open, and that's the
Whoa.
point. Yeah, the idea behind it is that it's kind of like creating a new field for artists to, be forced or like force themselves to just make something. Like I
Mm.
want to contribute. This is something that I don't necessarily care about or have any thoughts or opinions about, but now I'm going
Mm.
to like commit to writing a new piece
Yeah.
to yeah. So it's kind of like a good a good workout, I'd
That's
say,
super
as
cool.
as an artist to contribute to this tape. And
You said
it's
it's
people from
Plastic Island?
yeah. And this volume 4, is going to be songs about cats. The
Ooh.
previous one, yeah, meow.
Hey.
Yeah, the previous, where's my cat at? She'll come say hi at some point. Um, yeah, the previous one was Return to My Living Hell. Um, I did the art on that one, and
Nice.
before that, Wings of Disaster. And then the first one was kind of mm, void.
Mm.
So yeah.
If
The
you
shows.
if
Sorry.
someone wanted to get involved, like how would they find out about this, or like how would they?
Oh, totally. So probably the best way to do it would be to email the project at docyourpay, DOCYOURPAY at gmail.com, and just inquire there.
Whoa. Is it
And
sort of
then
so? There's no like website or Instagram. It's just like a
nope, it's
secret.
very DIY. It's
Very
very
cool.
DIY. Yeah. Um, Not only is like the tapes are paid for out of pocket, and
Mm-hmm.
also with donations from the people that are contributing, because they
Mm-hmm.
get a couple, like 5 to 10 copies of the tapes once they're pressed, if they like have contributed.
Mm-hmm.
So just email. What were we talking about? Just email that
How to like if you want if like
email.
a listener wanted to like
Yeah,
be involved at all, how would they
yeah,
maybe learn more about it or anything like
yeah,
that? Okay, so it's very
yeah.
like is this a Bay Area or like
Oh,
Oakland centric or
no, we have contributors on the tape that are from like New York, Singapore, like all
yo
over the place. So it's
wow.
open to anybody who wants to contribute, really, and can like write an original song, which is, yeah. But what I was saying earlier was that it's very very DIY and very like off the grid, underground, um like anti-capitalist,
Yeah.
anti-establishment. I think it's pretty punk, and it's refreshing for me to see like like things that are totally grounded in our community like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah,
That's
it's
so
it's been
cool.
pretty inspiring to work on this tape.
I've been meaning to ask. So, like, is that sort of anti or establishment sort of like very like community and like punk DIY thing? How long have you been
Mm.
involved with that, or like how did you get into it? If you can
um,
say.
well, I think that I think that um, being punk or fitting into these scenes and these boxes isn't
Mm,
it's like saying Buddhism is a religion and not a philosophy. It's more of
mm.
kind of just who you are as a
There's
person and what
no,
you believe in, and
yeah.
like your life experience and how what values you hold. And I think that a lot of people are just really disillusioned with everything that's going on in our modern world, and things that we've been distracted from, like the importance of community and mutual aid and self-sufficiency, and
Mm,
being able to dictate what one in like you're creating culture, you're not just consuming culture. um,
definitely.
you dictate what you get to consume, and I think that a lot of people are really into that, and like having self like being able to determine things for themselves.
I
And
see.
I I've always been that way. Uh,
I guess I just don't know a
I
lot about your
Yeah,
like your
yeah,
history. So like I don't even. Are you like a local or how long have you been in the Bay or?
yeah.
Um,
I was born in Vancouver, Canada. Um,
Yo.
yeah,
We probably
yeah.
talked about this. I'm sorry, I forgot. Very briefly. Because I'm
I've
from
been
Vancouver
wanting to go
too.
back. Wait, what the fuck? No, we totally did talk about
No
this.
way.
That's so weird. I think it just
Yeah.
came. I think we were both just really drunk at that show where I met you and I put eyeliner on you guys. We definitely talked about it at that show.
I
That's
hope.
hilarious.
Is that kind of why you're homies with 36 too? Because they're Canadian, the
Um,
Canadian connection?
yeah, I mean, like, I'm homesick. I mean, I didn't grow up there. I was born there and I left around when I was 4,
Mm.
due to some family disasters.
Mm.
But I feel like I've been really wanting to go back recently, and it's just so nice for me to see other Canadians like rocking it. I'm like, yeah, I'm so proud of you. Go Canucks. But they're not. They're
Hey.
from Alberta. Yeah, they're from Alberta, so it's kind of different.
Yeah, the 36. They're from up, but I think
Carrie
in
just moved there. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
want
I've
to
been listening to
visit,
her
but
music. It's really good. You should come with me.
I'm gonna
Cat
be.
fight.
I'm going to like visit my mom with my partner at some point. I'm not sure exactly when, but like the border's closed, so it's like
Yeah.
it's really tough.
I I looked it up the other day. I was like, fuck, if I wanted to go to Canada, would I really have to like face charges of perjury or some shit? I don't
Well,
know.
if you
But
you could probably since you were born there, don't you have citizenship
yeah,
or anything like?
I'm a citizen. I'm not
Then
sure.
you're
I think
okay.
someone
You're
told
okay.
me that if you don't have a place to stay in quarantine, then they're gonna force you into a
Mm.
hotel. Like you have to, it's
Oh
like
yeah, that might be
mandatory.
a thing. Yeah.
Um,
Jesus.
which is, you know,
Pretty intense.
fucked.
Yeah.
That's like I could just sleep in my car,
Yeah. I
but
mean, Vancouver will still be Vancouver in a year, I hope,
yeah,
after all this
who
passes
knows,
over.
man? Who
Yeah,
knows what'll be what? And like that's what I was saying about dictating our future, man. That's what I love the most and what attracts me and like makes me hold on with dear life and love and hug the shit out of the concept of like DIY culture and like
mm.
that is being able to a lot of people are super into saying, okay, look, this is how I want my world to be. You know, this is how I picture things should be. This is what I think would be best. And I'm going to fucking work to make it happen. You know, I'm
Mm.
going to build things. I'm going to meet people and talk to people. I'm going to like create connections and foster a feeling of love and acceptance and you know, generate what you want to see in the world. And that's just so fucking amazing to me.
Yo. Hell yeah.
But yeah. I moved out of Vancouver when I was 4, and I landed in Fremont, California, which is
Yo.
okay. Shout out to Fremont.
Good skate scene, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. So I was growing up in Fremont. I think I was around 10 or 12 when the skate park first opened. So it was kind of like my direct age group that was the most impacted by that thing. And I
Oh,
actually
okay.
live right next to I was living right next to the Central Park where the skate ramps were.
Mm.
So it was just like, woo. Yeah, that
Perfect.
was like the one good thing that happened in the town
Of
after
Fremont.
like, yeah, God, I have so much. I think really growing up in Fremont gave me a very healthy hate for the establishment. Um,
Mm.
yeah, it's just a
Interesting.
suburban nightmare. It's kind of like Hayward. Fremont's about
South
30
of.
minutes from Oakland. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
last city at the end of Alameda County before Milpitas.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who work in Silicon Valley live there because it's like vast apartment developments, condos,
Yeah.
tract housing, but it's not ghetto, right? It's not
Mm.
Hayward, it's not Union City where things are like a little bit like in Fremont things are very like plush and manicured and like that type of apartment
Yeah.
community type vibe.
I
Um,
actually had spent like no time in Fremont, so I imagine, yeah. Is it? Do you know what Walnut Creek is?
yeah, I know.
Is
Yeah,
it? It's kind of
yeah,
Walnut Creeky. Is that a?
yeah. A little bit, a little less rich. It's
Mm.
more like lower middle class to middle class, and then there's like some upper middle class people.
Mm.
But yeah,
Good to
it's
get
just
that
very
good Bay talk in.
yeah. This is what but it used to be all like orchards in the
Oh wow.
60s. My best friend Raina grew up in Warm Springs, which is like where the Tesla factory is now. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
last BART stop that they're about to open the new BART
Yes.
on
Exciting.
June 7th, they said, June 10th. All the way to San Jose, whether or not there's quarantine. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck San Jose. Sorry, San Jose people. Uh, yeah,
If I
so
may
Fremont
just
used to
cut in
be.
real quick, like I
Mhm.
feel like Fremont and San Jose are the places that like music-y or like kind of I don't know the right way of I don't want to umbrella pigeonhole people too much, but like you don't hear about a lot of cool shit going down in terms of art. I'm sure it is
Yeah.
happening in parts. There's like little enclaves within those cities and with those towns, but like Oakland and like Berkeley seem to be like much more of like what at least
Hot
I've been
spots.
exposed to in terms of the
Yeah.
the cool stuff, if that makes sense. It seems so pretentious. I'm sure there's fun stuff in San Jose, but
In San Jose, I mean, San Jose is kind of more of an urban center than Fremont is because it
mm,
has like a downtown, type area. It is a downtown now, full
okay.
blown.
San Jose
But
State.
yeah, exactly. Like it's a bigger San Jose is the biggest city in the Bay Area. Fun fact.
True.
Um, yeah. I think
Crazy.
Fremont's number 5, but point being, it's kind of just really oppressive and stifling to live there because there is no culture. There is
Mm.
no, well, actually, there is culture. but it's very shut off to most people because there's a very like bustling, vibrant community of like people from India and Afghani people, and a lot of Thai people also live there. Just like so many different types of people from all walks of life live in Fremont, and that gives us the best food. There's so much good food.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and also very like, you know, at every part of the year someone's having some kind of holiday or festival, you know, so it's always just like yeah, and you know, the colors are bright. But
There's some good stuff in Fremont. Let's go.
there's a lot of good stuff in Fremont, but my point is it's being just totally erased by rapid development. When I was about 15, like being a freshman in high school, I saw like all of these lots starting to get raised and like prepared for sale. And then all of a sudden, all of these apartments started going up and all of these new properties started being built. And the size of the town in terms of like how much housing there was, whoo, clash bang. Yeah, this like the houses doubled and no one else was there. And now it's still happening, and it's definitely attributed to like the tech boom in Silicon Valley and Tesla specifically having their plant in Fremont. And so the city and the mayor and the councilors are just taking all of this money from development firms and saying, yeah, bring our town into the future, right? And everyone's getting pushed out because it's really expensive and no one wants to live there anymore because infrastructure just can't handle that many, like as many people would fit in those houses. Yeah. But no one can afford the houses because it's fucking like they're sitting on the properties driving the price up. So it's hilarious, and it was really a lot of people my age that lived in Fremont felt really strongly about this, and I was happy to know that a lot of people had very anti developer sentiments after growing up in Fremont.
Heck yeah.
So yeah. But basically there was nothing to do for kids. There was no type of like live music allowed unless it was very, very set and planned ahead of time and like agreeable, no overly loud noise unless it's like, you know, through the city and paid for kind of thing. And the police are really, really sensitive to anything because there's nothing for them to do. It's quiet town.
Yeah.
So like my friend David was telling me he lives in a house in Fremont, and he was like, yeah, we would have shows here at like 3 p.m. and someone would fucking call the cops on a noise complaint at 3 p.m. Like, yeesh. And the cops would come and shut the party down, you know? So it's just impossible to do that stuff in Fremont with, you know, the police presence and the zoning laws. It's like this really stifling city ordinances, yeah. Yeah, all of that just really drove me towards Oakland because I needed that. Like, a lot of people really needed that, and it wasn't there for us. So I searched it out and I found it. I think my first shows were at Lobot, rest in peace, which was this super cool warehouse art workshop gallery crazy space, like completely built from hand on the inside from the ground up. Like, people lived there. It was just the traditional like punk house DIY space, like the best. And I learned how to screen print there, and I went to my first shows there, and I remember seeing bands like Emotional and oh god, Spit Tips, loved those guys. And god, what other show? Oh, I saw Wizard Apprentice there. She's one of my favorite artists. Shout out. She's on Ratskin Records, really cool record label.
Wow.
Yeah. So Lobot was just popping off, and I made a lot of friends there. I was like probably like 16 at the time.
Wow. Would you like bar it up?
So I was like, yeah. Yeah. So that was
Oh,
like
yeah.
the rebellion of my childhood, I guess, because I was really lucky to live like a 5-minute walk from the Fremont BART station. So whenever my dad was like, "You're grounded," I'm like, as if. So I just like hop out the door and get on BART and go. So yeah, yeah.
Dang.
I was pretty
Wow.
lucky to be able to just come out whenever I wanted, really, if I had the money,
Mm-hmm.
and go to shows without having to worry too much about transportation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah, Lobot was one. The Hole was another one. Also, I think they're not doing shows. Yeah, they've been gone for a while.
Yeah. I had
Um,
heard about the whole before I even really got into the scene, and like I
yeah,
just made so. This is such a random thing, but like I don't have any issue with the whole. I'm sure like their logic was 100% sound, but I remember like trying to talk to the whole about like putting on a show, even though they had no idea who I was. I was just some
yeah,
guy who like knew 2 bands. I was like, I'm just gonna look up venues to see what happens on Facebook,
yeah.
and I like DM'd the
That's how you
whole.
do it.
But they were like, we don't release our calendar. We won't tell you like anything. I
What
was
the
like, okay,
fuck?
whatever,
Oh,
no
because they
worries.
were trying to keep it low key. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's kind of weird. I mean,
I mean, it's
that's kind of
whatever.
weird.
It was I was
But all right.
19. Who maybe I was didn't type the message properly or whatever. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, you can forgive your 19-year-old self. Just
It
like
is
we
what
can
it
all
is.
forgive the whole for
Yeah,
dissing
yeah,
you.
yeah. It's all good. There's plenty of other cool
Yeah.
spots. What are like
Yeah.
your other favorite venues around here then, if there are
Favorite
any
venues
left besides
currently.
Oakland?
Very good point. Um,
Yeah.
the very good point. The funny thing is, I actually never really came to Oakland Secret for some reason. Like, maybe it was where I would look on Google Maps and see where it was on the map relative to the BART station, and
Yeah.
I wasn't that familiar with Oakland at the time. So for some reason, I wanted to stay away from this part of town. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel comfortable going under the highway and to that
Yeah,
part
it
of
is a
Oakland I've
little
never been
funny.
before. Yeah, so I just like got a bad vibe for some reason, and I was like,
Mm.
I'm gonna like not go there. But I would go. I think I. It's hard for me to think of a venue in San Francisco that I really like, because I have my problems with all of them because they're all fucking bar venues except for Honey
Yeah.
Hive, and Honey Hive is
So far.
I have. It's not my favorite place to see shows, but I really like the shows that happen there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good people.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
support them. Shout
Honey
out to
Hive is
Honey
super
Hive.
sick.
Ding
I
ding
just
ding. Yeah.
the only way to get there is either you drive for like people like me because like I'm out on the outskirts. It's like BARTing would mean I have to take a 40-minute or like a
Yeah.
50-minute bus ride after the BART. Like
Oh God.
it's pretty brutal, and I have to drive to BART personally, so that'll
Yeah.
evolve at some point. But yeah, no, like
Yeah.
super sick venue. I just wish it was closer and not.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's such a cool scene out there, so I'm sure for everybody who lives in like inner Sunset or outer
Yeah.
Sunset, like it's perfect for them. But if you don't live in the city, it's kind of a
Yeah.
trek.
That's kind of funny. I went to SF State for a semester in
Mm-hmm.
2017, and I loved it. It was like really nice to live out there,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason, I have never really gotten in touch with the SF scene at all. Like,
Mm.
I have inklings of the SF scene. Um,
The
and
most
I was at a sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the most Bay Area thing is like nobody knows about each other. I feel like everything is little bubbles that
No,
don't touch too much. Like I'm a
it's
little bit in Oakland, probably more in SF in a weird way. Like I just know a bunch of like USF kids and SF State kids, but beyond that, I don't think I'm really in the scene any more than anyone else is. Like it's so
it's
huge.
it is the Bay Area is a grand and wonderful place. I was at a show at Thrill House one time, and I was talking to my buddy Noah, who's in Doc and the Parasites, who are a pretty good band. You should
Mm,
listen to them on Bandcamp.
for sure.
Um, and they were like, God, it's like everyone in the SF scene thinks everyone in the East Bay scene hates them, but everyone in the East Bay scene doesn't even know that anyone in the SF scene exists. So it's just like that's basically what wavelength I'm on.
Yeah.
I just don't really like going out to San Francisco so much, because there's so much happening around here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I live a stone's throw from probably like 5 venues. Just in downtown Oakland, and I think the East Bay is full of so much
Yeah.
like wonderful, vibrant energy that SF kind of like drains out of people because it can be hard to live out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say the
But
Mission. I'll
yeah,
give the Mission District, at least for me, I kind of like going there and visiting that every now and then because the food is really
yeah,
good and there's like
yeah.
Dolores
I
Park
mean,
and all that. But beyond that, yeah, SF is kind of just like
yeah,
if you're commuting, it's like I feel like every time I go over, the gravity is heavier and I'm like just in this
yeah.
sweaty,
You're just like,
like
San Francisco.
I
Yeah,
know
yeah. It
everybody
rubs
says
off
the
on
best
you.
weather. I don't know if it's the
Uh,
best weather.
I think living at SF State was the best weather. Like out there in
Mm,
like the outer sunset where the
yeah.
ocean's right there. It's good shit. It's good shit. But yeah, some of my favorite venues are. I have a weird attachment to the Great American Music Hall.
Of
I also
course.
have a weird attachment to 1 2 3 4 Go. They were 1 2 3 4 Go Records in Oakland on 40th
40?
Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, 420 40th Street. uh, yeah. I love them the most at the time because they have all ages shows. All of their shows are all ages shows. That was really important to me growing up.
hmm
And really emphasize the importance of all ages, safe all ages spaces, which it is. It's a very safe all ages space, and having actually really good shows that are accessible to everyone, like even little tiny kids, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw a lot
Don't
of
they
really cool bands
teach
there.
music too there and stuff like that? Like it's a whole, like it's a store,
Um,
but also you can like get tutors from there or something. At least that's what I
wow.
remember. Maybe who knows?
Okay,
Maybe I'm.
I don't remember that. I could just be totally missing that part of their history in my mind, but
I've actually never been
yeah.
inside crazy enough because I don't see shows happening there that often. Like I've yet to really
They don't really
recently at least.
publicize their calendar either.
Mm,
It's I remember a couple like 2 months before COVID, I hit them up about the same thing. I was like trying to book a gig, like I was trying to get on a bill with my band on a
mm-hmm.
show there, and I was like, hey, um, I don't see your calendar. Where's your calendar? Or do you have shows anymore? Are you okay? Because they were kind of talking about financial instability, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're worried about something, and
mm-hmm.
uh yeah, they were like, "Oh, we're trying to do like one show a month now or something like that." They said it was a very small number of shows per time unit, um, compared to what they were used to be doing. So I was like, "Oh, come on, guys, you know." And now it's like $8. Like I don't know, their door entry fees are kind of whack,
eight
and the people,
dollars.
yeah, the people that like I love venues where the door person is a human and swayable. Cause like I
Mm,
don't know, I go into a all ages show, I'm expecting that shit to be not a flop. I'm sorry, like
yeah.
every show should be known turned away for lack of funds. Um, but I guess they're trying to like make money, so
Yeah.
that's a reason that some people aren't like
Oh man.
have their criticisms of the space. But yeah, I've seen a lot of great bands there.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope they
Yeah,
are surviving and we can hear from them after this
yeah, they actually are
pandemic.
doing really well. They've been
Hey.
doing this like record-breaking sales, not really, but they've been selling a lot of vinyl and like package deals and like keeping the hustle
Okay.
going while everything was shut
Adapting.
down. So it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Nice.
good to see them muscle through like that, not
Real.
not die off.
Mm. Are
Yeah,
you familiar with Gilman at all? Do you ever go there for shows and stuff like that?
Gilman is another place that I kind of it didn't really fit my vibe.
Mm.
I was in the spaces more like, oh God, I guess the Dome is an example of one of the spaces I'm thinking about. The Dome's really a nice venue, um, but they're super underground, so you got to be hush hush about
I think I've
it.
heard
Kind
names
of
about the
somewhat,
dome.
yeah.
Well, it's one of
First Church of the Buzzard is really good.
okay.
Yeah, just like kind of more warehouse spaces are my vibe.
Mm.
And Gilman is technically a warehouse, but there's just a lot of uh bands that I didn't really have any interest in that were playing
mm.
there. Every once in a while, my friends' bands would play there, or like, okay, Perspective, a Lovely Hand to Hold play there, and I was very visibly and audibly the most turnt person in the crowd. It was fucking hilarious. I was just like singing along to every song because they're one of my favorite. They're so good. You should listen to them.
Okay.
Really, really good, like math rock emo band.
Oh,
Kind
word.
of from Rhode Island.
Oh, dang. They made it to Gilman. That's good for them.
Yeah.
That's...
I think they are from either that or New Hampshire, but yeah, they came to Gilman. I was like, yeah, but yeah. I'm not really into a lot of stuff that goes on in Gilman, but nowadays, and it was kind of really far out of the way. Like it's not close to BART.
Yeah, that's
So when I was
my...
growing up,
Yeah.
it was not that close to a BART station. Like as a kid, that was going out to places that I'd never been before. I was like kind of cautious to go too far from transportation home.
Definitely.
So
it is kind of
I
in the
like
middle of nowhere in terms of Berkeley, in a way.
yeah,
It's just North Berkeley on Gilman Street.
yeah.
It's the Gilman.
Yeah, it's the dock. It's like the marina almost.
Yeah,
But, there's a lot of really cool history in Gilman and around Gilman. I have a lot of stories from my friends about shit that happened and has been happening, and like just the debauchery, and I love that. It's a really great space. I rep Gilman. Shout out, love those guys. Sorry that I couldn't be a larger part of your effort. Because those people do great work and they're really holding it down. So I would go support Gilman. They need the help right now. Yeah. Bottom of the Hill sucks. That's one thing I will say. I really don't like that venue.
Yo.
And also, yeah.
You know what's so funny is like people. It seems like we'll get more into like specifics, but I don't. People love talking about venues. Venues is such a like. I've had previous guests come on and like, or I'll ask them about like maybe like what's your top 5 venues, because I personally find it so interesting. And someone told me they love Bottom of the Hill, so like yeah, tell me why you're not a fan.
Well, a lot of why I would like and dislike a venue is based upon mainly 2 things: the sound quality of the room and how the acoustics work with their relationship to the stage and how the stage is positioned, and also just how the space is used to hold audiences. Like if it's an awkward space where people can't really get too close to the stage, or crammed in an awkward way where people don't have good, breathing room or vantage points, and like the journey from the door to the show also makes a huge impression upon me. And like whether or not it's a bar, how good the bar is, how sus the people that go there are, how good the shows are, the production quality, stuff like that. Bottom of the Hill, first of all, is so hard to get to unless you have a car. And even with a car, it's kind of hard to get to. Yeah, parking, and just like I get lost every single time I try to go there. I'm like, wait, fuck, the wrong turn under the freeway overpass.
Everything is one-way streets and like a SF.
Exactly.
SF.
SF.
Yeah, no.
Man.
Okay.
I feel like I assume we're the same age-ish. But
I'll tell you my age if you want to know. 22.
Doesn't 21.
Boom. We are similar ages.
We're peers. And I feel like SF for our generation and for our like group of people and like recent history that have entered the scene and have been like, okay, now what's up? Like, where am I going? Tell me where to go, show me what's up. SF has been super dead, and it used to be really, really lit out there. Like, I'm hearing from my friends telling me, like, in the 90s specifically, and like in the 80s and 70s, San Francisco was fucking pop. And of course, in the 60s, San Francisco was like a hub of like everything culture-wise in the United States, or it was for a short time. And just like and just seeing rapid gentrification and like really oppressive policies on the part of the city, and like neoliberalism and just like development in general. The capitalist machine devouring San Francisco like a fucking bulldozer.
Oh, the
it
weather's
is.
nice. Let's all round this shit up. Let's take over.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, it's just like all of our spaces have been closed and all of our people have been pushed out because they can no longer afford to live there.
Yeah.
And, our people are being criminalized for doing things that they feel are positive impacts on the community, and definitely are positive impacts on the community, to give people safe spaces to like I don't, aside from Honey Hive, can you name another all ages space in San Francisco?
Nope.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, there might be something, but that kind of reaches into like a bigger thing of like not even like, again with SF, just sort of like there might be something, but it's probably so niche or like very like it's all ages, but like, then you have to have like a bunch of money or something is involved with it. I don't know. It's not like a DIY all ages space.
Yeah, it's very
you can't afford to live in SF unless you're rich.
Exactly. And you definitely can't afford to, unless you just like squat space somewhere or like go to Hunter's Point and
oh yeah, the beach shows. I've always considered like doing that sort of DIY thing.
I mean, there's a lot of cool spots, like putty spots and SF, that are great for that shit. But, stay tuned. It's soon in your very near future. Generator shows coming to a putty spot near you.
Do you guys have a generator?
We have acquired one from a friend, and that's what we're kind of planning to do, these tape release shows.
That's hype. I did some like a couple summers ago actually, and
where at?
Do you know of Cordonices Park in Berkeley? Are you familiar with Euclid Avenue?
Park?
It's by the
that's
Rose
like
Garden.
North Berkeley.
Yeah,
that's like up there. Yeah.
It's
cool.
a weird spot. Like you can't really BART there, which was like probably like the reason why not that many people ever came. But we like I like rented a generator multiple times from Home Depot and like lugged it up to the garden, and
that's fucking sick.
There's just like a mini amphitheater in the park, and like it's super secluded. Nobody ever had a problem with us. It was completely illegal. Like I guess I don't think I would get.
We need more
in trouble,
completely illegal things. We need more.
I did not call the park to get permission to do this, but
let's take everyone. I hope everyone that listens to this podcast goes out and does something illegal in the best interests of everyone today.
Yeah. Make sure to mention that for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And
that's sick. So is that Oakland Secret
that's really
doing
good.
that, or you guys?
No, that's the Plastic Island tape series where we're planning these release shows. It's been hard, because the person that runs this project, he's pretty adamant about having shows. It needs to happen, and it can happen safely, which is why we're thinking of doing generator shows out in a space where people can socially distance, in a fucking huge parking lot or something, or on a field.
The parking lot shows.
Yeah. It's been a while. That reminds me of Fremont. But so stay tuned for throw your own generator shows, bring your friends out, fucking start.
It's only like $50-$60 to rent one at Home Depot. I mean, obviously Home Depot supports
probably know someone that has you probably know someone that has a generator, or you could drop $60, or you could
own one personally,
find
but
or steal one.
We'll see. I need to get rid of it, honestly. It's just too big. Like I'm not down to do the shows, but I'm happy to help someone else. Like if someone needs a generator, hit me up.
You got for sure. Yeah. Everyone.
It's like a really big one though. It was like for camping, and I thought that would be good, but it's like twice as heavy as like the ones you can rent, so it's like you really have to prepare. I messed up, honestly. It was not my best purchase.
What pronouns do you use? What pronouns do you use?
I use they/he, I guess.
Okay.
Like they, them preferred, but like I don't expect people to be perfect. Like I'm not gonna.
Cool. Thanks. Sorry.
Same for
I
you.
feel like
Question
you told me
real
that
quick.
Once.
What pronouns are you using?
I use they, them pronouns, but you could use she or he or it or that thing over there. It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What brought that up real quick?
Gender's fake. I don't know. I just feel like I referred to you with a very sharp pronoun, and I was like, oh wait, I never asked what your pronouns were. So
I didn't even hear it, so it's okay.
I was like, whoa, that was a resonating key.
Hey, I mean, yeah, my dad still, like people are gonna do it. It's unfortunate. Like, if we could all just say they, them in a way, or I think that might be nice. But also, certain people always would prefer like specifics, so like that's okay too. Whatever people want, I'm fine with.
I think gender is gonna end pretty soon.
You got a date? You got a date and time on that?
I got tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 2 p.m. No more gender, guys. Or girls, or anything.
No more gender blank.
All right, so yeah, I kind of wanted to hear your specific thoughts on like, so you're with Oakland Secret. Are you like part of the music part of that, or like how is that all?
Right. So Oakland Secret is kind of a collective.
Don't say it.
It's a very honestly, I think it's a very anarchist functioning house, because we have this like rule document which dictates a lot of things, but honestly people just kind of do their part and do what they will do, kind of. And I really like that. So everyone does their own thing and contributes in a different way, but everyone's allowed and encouraged to bring events to us and put events on our calendar and bottom line things. That's basically our house goal, is just to bring the community in and do stuff, whether it's a show or an art workshop or like a showing or an open mic or whatever, karaoke night, comedy night, stuff like that, board game night. Just everyone in the house is encouraged to do this type of stuff. Like when you move in here, we started vetting people more or less, like, okay, what are your interests in like what are you going to be passionate about in this household. So we just have like a really cool group of people that are pretty inspired in their own ways. But not that many people are very into booking shows. That's more my thing and Joss's thing. Joss is another person that lives here. He booked probably like all the shows for a little bit, but it's been like half and half, me and him, since I moved in.
Okay.
And it's been really fun working with him and like working with artists and bands and promoters and
it's fun,
getting
right?
way deeper into it. Yeah.
Making stuff happen, right? You're just like, exactly. I made this happen. That's so cool. Or like, we made this happen.
We made this happen. Word. Yeah.
I love it. All right, awesome. What is you guys' sort of plan going forwards and towards like if there's a reopened sort of like, I know like in the coming months things will slowly kind of become more and more open, because it sounds like even if it's not the best thing for COVID-19, people don't care, they refuse. So in terms of that kind of stuff, what do you guys like, is there sort of any plan for doing events at some point, or is it literally just waiting until the go ahead from the governor, or what's the situation? If I can put you on the spot.
It's okay. I wish you could play like a wah 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 noise, because that's that's how it feels to talk about this. And I feel like for a lot of other organizers, it's probably feeling equally stuck and trapped and not knowing what to do right now, and what course of action to take and how to justify it. We have been discussing this since the shelter-in-place order came to us, and obviously what happened was hilarious. Like we barely even had to tell anyone that we were canceling their shows. We told like 2 or 3 people that we were canceling their shows, but everyone else, there were like probably 20 to 30 dates on our calendar for the next 3 or 4 or 5 months, and everyone just canceled. Or like, even if they didn't cancel, it was just kind of like mutually accepted silence. It was really weird. Wow. Everyone's world just kind of like pew deflated.
It's like, well, here we go.
There goes my tour. There goes my
truly.
money. Yeah, a lot of people got fucked over. Remember when that happened? But Yeah. So we've been keeping the discussion open about what our policies are regarding COVID-19 and its
Mm-hmm.
implications on our society.
Mm-hmm.
I personally was very hot-headed and eager when this all started, and I did information, and like I didn't have the some of the information I have now,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have as much context. But I was like, yeah, let's just fucking keep having shows. Like, fuck this shit, fuck the government. I don't want to listen. I don't
Mm.
want to listen to like it. That's one thing is like the American public are so skeptical of what is being told to them from their media and their government, because guess what, the media and the government fucking lie like all
Mm-hmm.
the time and deliberately spread misinformation. So when all of this was happening, a lot of people, like a lot of the people that I am friends with that are like consider themselves radicals or in some way were very anti, shelter in place. I volunteer at the Long Haul, and a lot of people there were like openly very like there was a lot of conflict that happened at the Long Haul between these two groups of people that were like, fuck it, don't tell me what to do. Like, I don't see any evidence that this is happening. Like, I don't want to be stifled, and it is oppressive, but like it's necessary
Mm.
to a point. Um, is how I see it. I think
Yeah.
that we're here at Oakland Secret. We're all hearing what is hearing the information that comes in. Processing it. We're trying to stay on top of the information, which is often very conflicting.
Yeah.
You know, um,
It
which is
is tough.
scary and hard. You like how are you supposed to operate when everything's conflicting? And there's like
Mm-hmm.
bots posing as like Republican and far right
Yeah.
people on Twitter,
I
bots
saw that.
posing as those people that were like spreading messages about reopening.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So we're just, taking it one day at a time,
Okay.
really. And if anything's going to be happening through me, it won't be through Oakland Secret,
Hmm.
at least not as a physical venue,
Yeah. I've been
because
toying with like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
we haven't heard anything that would even sort of allow us to reopen as a venue.
Hmm.
We're also right next to a cop station. I have also been practicing here and jamming outside on the front porch a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing bad happened. Like people have not been critical. So I think we could pull it off if we wanted to, but we're not going to because we don't want to put people at risk.
Yeah.
And our space is pretty small, so like probably 6 or 7 people could safely attend a show here.
Yeah.
Some
Six
shows
feet.
feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Yeah. That's a whole
like
different thing. But okay.
like even going to a show where like 6 or 7 people shows up is so like needed for me right now. I don't even care how many
Mm.
people would be at the show. I just want to be at a show
Yeah.
so bad. But
Are
yeah, if
you
anything happens through me, it will be not through Oakland Secret, and it will be off the grid.
okay?
So
For sure.
you can follow me for
Um.
that if you want.
Curious. Yeah. Yeah. Curious if like you guys have ever thought about the whole like because I've toyed with the medium as well, the Zoom or like the not
Mm,
necessarily Zoom, but like some sort of like online video
video.
experience.
Yeah.
It's so hard to really like think that people obviously do the live stream of themselves playing music. That seems to be sort of a thing. I don't know how popular it is or how well it's doing, but uh, it must be doing better than normal just because there's nothing else to do. But considering that is an option, would you guys ever like like maybe you have a band do a live set in the venue? Obviously, this is maybe farther down the line than when things are
And then
not
like
as
live
crazy.
stream the venue,
Yeah, or
the
something
show.
like
Yeah.
that, or I don't know. Like I've been considering doing a karaoke party over Zoom.
Mm,
Like if that's even possible,
yeah.
I don't know. We'll
I've
find
I've
out.
I've heard of those. Those seem fun.
But like just
We haven't.
outsider thoughts of like how you're gonna
Yeah.
continue to do stuff despite the circumstances, I guess.
That's a very interesting idea. I think that I am pretty against. I'm not interested in virtual shows.
Mm,
I see their worth. I see their worth. I acknowledge them. I respect them. But it's like how I feel about the Beatles. Like, yeah, I might not be super interested in listening to the Beatles a lot of the time, but I do respect their impact on art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that. We're not gonna experiment with virtual things because we do still have a lot going on around the house. We're all working on projects right now, and I think that even a lot of bands are social distancing from each other. So I know a lot
Yeah.
of bands that aren't having practice because of quarantine, which is
Mhm.
sad. I mean, like, come on, your bandmates are basically your partners. Like, you're just doing one big poly relationship, and you all hate each other, but you all are like, oh my god, you guys are so cool.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully that's like the dream situation, I guess. But
Wow.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good to know.
So it's been a slow uphill battle.
Mm.
We're all very excited to start going again, though. We have everything prepped. We're ready to go. We cleaned everything. It looks great. We're
Hey.
putting in a hammock and a bathtub outside, and
Whoa.
tearing up some concrete. Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
So major
Random
renovations.
question. If I was like a band that wanted to book a show at Oakland Secret when things do finally unlift, assuming
Right.
that like that does
It
happen,
should be soon, honestly. I think
would
it
it
should be soon.
like is there a way to sort of like be like, well, I want the first Saturday that's available or something, you know, like could
Yeah.
a band email you guys and be like, when things do finally happen, like can I have a date or whatever? Is that like a thing that you guys have already started doing, or is it?
Well, that's a very interesting concept because we have had, as I said, we've just been going like day to day, seeing
Mm-hmm.
what's going on. We've had people email us during quarantine saying, okay, well, we don't know what the future is going to hold. It might open up next month. It might open up the next month after. I want to go on tour anyway. So can I put this date a couple months in the future down in advance? And we're like, yeah,
Mm,
like if we're open by then, you can have that date. So that's something that is, an option, but it's so out there and so hard to predict, like what.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to reach out to us, our email is 577-5THSTREET@gmail.com. Just hit us
I
up,
could put. Should I
and
put that in the description, or is that you want to keep
yeah,
that? Just they have to figure it
yeah,
out. They have to.
yeah,
What is it
yeah,
again?
yeah.
I'll
I
write it
mean,
down.
our email is on Facebook, so you could just like
Ah,
flash it
just
for a
yeah,
second.
check the Oakland Secret
Check the
Facebook.
Facebook. Don't message us though, because you'll look like a creep.
Hmm.
Sorry. Like no one else knows this, but we just see it that way. We don't really like our Facebook messages.
I see.
um,
So email is the way to go.
it's like
Not.
an yeah, yeah. Email's the way to go. Definitely. Yeah, and just like reach out to either me or Josh, and we'll definitely respond. We get the emails, and we're excited to do things, and
Right.
keep this society functioning in some form, and keep the people that we care about together and
Big.
cared for.
Hot tub. That's so
Yeah.
crazy. How's that gonna work
Yeah.
if I?
So we have a dude here who does plumbing. He knows how to do plumbing.
Whoa.
And we have an extra bathtub laying around. So we're like, let's do a solar shower. And we cleared out some space in a little nook in the backyard, and we put it in there, put some deck flooring down. We're gonna hook it up to the main house, get some approval from the landlord, and then like
Hmm.
make planter boxes and have like honeysuckle and vines growing up the sides.
Yeah.
Oh, and dig a drainage ditch.
That's sick. That's so awesome. You guys are so cool. I'm jealous.
It's okay. You too can have a solar shower.
What's
All
this? A
you have to
solar
do is
shower?
dig a. I don't think it's actually a solar shower. It's just a fucking tub.
Oh.
Outside, it's just a bathtub outside.
Okay, okay. Not
You
quite
can
a
take
hot
your baths
tub, just a
outside.
bathtub.
Yeah, just a bathtub. It can be a hot bathtub, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit less than a jacuzzi. DIY or die, bitch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am. COVID has been interesting in a lot of ways and horrible in a lot of other ways, but
Hmm.
I'm very happy about how people are really kind of waking up and starting to develop a healthy distrust in what they're being fed. and also realizing that, you know, your community is everything, and like your neighbors are really important, and the people, like, you have to develop meaningful, lasting connections with the people around you, and like you rely upon each other
Definitely.
for your life even. And you know, also just learning skills that you need to know to be self-sufficient. Like, people, a lot of people are like baking and learning how to grow food, and starting gardening for the first time, and you know, taking on construction projects, and you know, just doing things that they normally wouldn't have time to do because they'd be caught up in a fucking job, and then like after the job you're
Yeah.
tired, and you hate your life because you hate your job, and nothing, you know, you're just totally distracted from yourself, and you're caught up in the
Yeah.
spectacle. So yeah, a lot of people are waking up and realizing what really matters in their life, and that's been really cool. But we're also very isolated,
Yeah.
obviously, and people are like losing a lot of their empathy towards people that they aren't familiar with. I think, like, there's been
Mm.
so many accounts of violence between strangers or individuals due to COVID related reasons.
Oh god, just the
Everyone's,
protests, and everything.
yeah,
It's just been so
yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
Is there anything
that's,
else?
ooh,
Oh, is that a
well, those
topic?
those protests. Yeah, well, I broke out of my shell and went to a couple protests recently. I
Mm.
wasn't sure what the scene would be like because, you know, it's a protest
Which
during a shelter
protests?
in place order. Well, I went to this one on like 37th and West Grand. It was like a car rally. That's, yeah,
Mm.
okay, that's interesting. And then it was pretty weak turnout, which was really sad. But we did the thing. We made ourselves heard and seen. Like, people came up and spoke. But yeah, definitely take to the streets. Take to the fucking streets. Rally your people and take to the fucking streets, man. Like, so much shit's happening right now that's just being slid under because everyone's like not paying attention and distracted. Like,
Mm.
now
Yeah,
is the
man.
time to like really get ready for shit. To hit the fan, and like, we can do it. We can get through it and come out with something better, hopefully. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck this whole
And
thing, dude.
that could be the title of the video. Okay,
Yeah, fuck Joe
I'm sure we all
Biden.
know.
Fuck Donald Trump. Also, I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about is projects that I'm working on.
Mm.
As I said, I'm in a band named Moving. We have a song coming out on the Plastic Island comp tape series,
Hey.
happening in like 2 weeks, I think. The tapes came back a couple days ago, so they're going in the cases, they're getting mailed out, and they will be available at stores like The Long Haul, 1 2 3 4 Go, Econo Jam Records, Thrill House Records in San Francisco. Shout out to Thrill House.
Yeah.
Shout out to Econo Jam, they're great, really good record store. Yeah, so you can buy them there, or you can always email docyourpit@gmail.com to get a copy. And I think they are $3 to $5, sliding scale if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we have a couple songs coming out on that tape. We're also in the middle of recording a couple of new songs, and I am coming out with new material under the name Regress, so that's really exciting.
Hey.
Watch out for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also
Yeah.
have a zine coming out soon that I've been working really hard on. It's called Ouch. No, it's not called Ouch. There is no name to it. I just drew some shit on the cover, and like there was a bold font that I remembered. Um, yeah, it's just kind of like an opinion piece with a lot of different perspectives on things that irk me, and like little, like this whole car rally thing, the concept of a car rally, and what that means to, you know, think about, and dreams of living off the grid, music reviews, stuff like that,
Yeah.
philosophical inquiries, shit like that. So when that comes
Hell yeah.
out, I will definitely be letting it
Where
know.
can we find this stuff when it's ready to be
Um,
released?
I have a website. I don't use it. Don't go to it. It looks great. Don't go to it. Um, I do most of my public relations over the internet through my Instagram. So if you want to give me a follow, then you can stay updated with the shit that I'm doing, along with like weird shit that I post and the occasional poem.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just you can throw my link in the description if you
Use
want.
pads.
Yeah.
It's already on the. I already got it written out so people can see it. All right, sweet. We just hit an hour. I'm super hyped to see what happens in the future.
I have a date on the beach right now. Somebody's waiting for me on the beach.
Oh dang!
And
Yeah, you gotta
I'm just gonna throw on a bikini and fucking head out this window.
Good luck. Enjoy
Yeah.
the beach.
I will.
And
you
we'll
enjoy
see you
the
all
beach.
soon.
Everyone go to the beach. All right.
But 6 feet. Take care.